My thoughts are thank you to Coach Staley. Thank you to the University of South Carolina for, 8 great years. Thank you for extending yourself to come to the Stro and make an incredible atmosphere here. Give the fans, a glimpse into the #1 team in the country. They definitely earned that ranking. Also want to thank our incredible fan base that came out and supported us. And even when we're down 30 points, this fan base kept on cheering. They were still engaged, and they saw it all the way through to the end. And I believe, our players did that as well. I want to commend them on great effort, hustle plays. I mean, they have the heart of champions. The basketball isn't championship level yet, but their heart certainly is. So I want to thank them as well.
Coach, how can you kind of rank this loss? I mean, in terms of 30-point losses, I mean, this has to be one of the best feeling in terms of how the crowd was reacting to it, just the way you said they were still in it to the very end. I mean, what can you say about, just everyone's kind of engagement with this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a credit to our fan base. They're basketball, their basketball squad. They know what good basketball looks like. They know what great effort looks like. I just think our kids bring that out of a fan base. I mean, it's hard not to cheer for somebody who's diving on the floor that, is 5'6" against 6'7". Like, that's easy to cheer for. It's easy to get behind. We, the David and Goliath today, but I thought, we learned some lessons. I thought we did some really good things. I thought we, fought against pressure. I thought, we executed some offense down the stretch. But we knew coming into this game, we had to pick our poison. We had to choose what we wanted to give up, because you can't take everything away from a team like that. We didn't execute properly in the zone defense early on, but thought we settled in a little bit later. But by that time, they gained a little momentum and saw some shots go through that we needed to have carry them off the rim and get into transition. And I thought we had some great looks early that didn't go down. So, it was a combination of a little bit of everything that kind of started the tidal wave, but I thought we did a really good job today.
How good was it to see Dawn in the way he said must have been pretty emotional?
I mean, it's like seeing relatives, that you haven't seen in years, and it's a little bittersweet because you used to see them every single day. I saw them more than I saw her, but it's about your journey. It's about a different lifestyle for her, and coming to the great state of Ohio, and giving her a new platform. And, it's the experience for me of becoming a head coach and moving into that next seat. And I'm still growing. But, it all started with Coach Staley that gave me a shot in Division I women's basketball.
Just talk about, Morgan Sharps. Struggled shooting against Iowa in the last 2 games. She's just lights out from 3, especially tonight. Just what can you say about just her ability to bounce back and in 2 tough or 2 pretty big environments, to perform the way she did?
Yeah, she got out the gates like a Preakness horse, right? And then hit a little bump in the road. But we got to remember, she hasn't played in a year. Like, those were her first minutes. And she definitely, jumped out there and showed who she was. But then, the effects of not playing for a year happened. To her credit, she's righted the ship, and now she looks like, Mo Sharp of old. So, credit to her, credit to her work with Coach Lucas, the extra work they put in, and she's a student of the game as well, so she can get to her spots and get good shots up, get good attempts.
as good as South Carolina is defensively, I mean, put up 63 points. I mean, against a team that can really limit teams. I mean, is there, there's some positives, especially offensively, that you can really take away, and so what are they?
Yeah, I do think there was some offensive execution there. The pace of play, they sped us up, and it took us a while to adjust to that, to embrace that pressure rather than just fold. I thought we're giving them a little too much space off ball screens where they could slip through and continue to pressure us. We concentrated on that in practice, but it just didn't take in the game. But I thought they pivoted. I thought our kids pivoted and did a good job of, setting, using screens, coming off different actions, staggers away. We set a lot of flare screens. I just thought that they kind of settled into the game, and if you can settle into a game against the number one team in the country, that gives you some ammunition moving forward.
Late in the game, I mean, Amy and Lexi kind of just combined for a steal.
Yep.
The crowd goes crazy.
Yep.
That's like the final 2 minutes. What does that say about just the team culture and environment for them to continue playing at that level and intensity that late in the game?
I would tell you that's who they are. And I would also tell you that's what we expect. We're going to play through the final second of the game, regardless of what the score is on the scoreboard. We do that in practice. We don't tone it down for anything. All gas, no brakes. You heard that before? I think that's a pretty good one for our team. We should get the T-shirt.
It's really hard to teach effort, though, isn't it, Coach? I mean, obviously those young women are just all go all the time. It's really hard to teach them, isn't it?
I think part of it is in them, part of it's innate, but I also think it's a learned response. I also think in practice from jump, that's how we approach every day. So I also think it's a learned thing.
So much of the conversation about this game is about South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
People say because they're here, but plays like we're talking about right now, how important is that to getting people who are here tonight, or paying attention maybe for the first time, to come back because of Bowling Green and the way you play?
Yeah, I think this was a great platform for women's basketball. Whoever watched this game, I'm sure appreciated both teams. But if you're a fan and you see how hard those young women work, you appreciate that. I think that's something that, that's a commodity that you get a great feeling from. So I do think that we're building a fan base. I do think that we're extending that a little bit. I do think people appreciate how hard we play. I think they appreciate our character. I think they're all high character kids. They're not talking trash. They're not taking cheap shots. They just play hard. They play hard. And that's something that people can get behind no matter what.
I'm wondering, kind of building off that, for fans who are here, you mentioned the atmosphere and just how good it is for women's basketball. What maybe can Bowling Green fans pick up from watching, the number one team in the country play? I know you've been around it, and what do you hope maybe your team picks up from that as well?
Yeah, I do think there's different levels of basketball throughout, collegiate basketball, and they're at an elite level. There's, a handful of teams every year that can win the national championship. It's just that way. It's been that way since, the dawn of time. No pun intended. I think there's a second tier there that are world shockers. I think there's a second tier there that are fun to watch regardless of an outcome when they play the number one team in the country. And I think we can get into that niche. I think we're pretty good. I think we're fun to watch. I think we're only going to get better. I think shots that we missed against South Carolina are shots that we probably should make against everybody else. You get out there and you watch them on film and you're watching them on TV. It's different. It's different when you walk on that floor and you see how big they are. Like I said it at the beginning, I walked in there, I'm like, wow, they make this court look small. They do. I mean, they made it look smaller than the guys did this afternoon. they're just enormous at every size. They're linked at every position. Like, I enjoy our team. I really do. I love our team. I love what we bring to the table, and I do think that we're going to build a fan base even bigger than it is right now.